if there's anything I'm arguing against VAR for, it's for the goal. That I don't know how it was a goal. The ball went off the pitch and it was offside. Let me go through again, actually, since those of you would not have seen me at the start. Guys, this is my explanation of how Newcastle's goal 100% should not have stood. First of all, they're analysing 3 things. I'm going to talk through all of them individually. 1, the ball out of play. In my eyes, that ball was out of play, man. You can see a clear difference between the ball off the pitch and the white line. You can actually see the gap right there. So for me, the ball's off the pitch. I think Joe Willock knows it himself, to be honest. So that's number 1, the ball's off the pitch. Second one, we've got the foul. In my eyes, that was not a foul. That was clean. That was just Joelinton winning it more than Gabriel. So that's fine. The foul is okay. That wasn't a foul one bit. But the third one, this, for me, is offside. Not how it works is this, guys. Everyone knows that offside, you have to be in front of the last man to be onside. Everyone knows this, right? But not a lot of people understand is that because the goalkeeper is actually more often not in his goal, the goalkeeper actually is one of the players that is playing you onside, if you get what I mean. You actually need 2 players to be onside, 2. Now, this was one of those rare occasions where David Raya was ahead of the football. So technically, Gabriel was the last man. So Anthony Gordon was in an offside position. That was clear as day. The question mark was whether Joelinton was passing the ball forwards or not. Because the only way you're not offside is if you pass the ball backwards. If you passed it forwards, it would have been offside. Now, VAR in Stockley Park are arguing that they can't rule it as offside because there's not conclusive evidence of which direction the ball is going in once it comes off Joelinton's leg. And in my opinion, that is a disgrace. Let me explain why, guys, right? I study engineering, but that's out of the equation. You don't need to be a physicist, an Isaac Newton, an Albert Einstein to understand momentum, understand physics to the minutest degree. You just need to bang together 2 brain cells to understand this, right? So if Joelinton is facing forwards, the brother's facing forwards, yeah? He's facing like this. If the camera that I'm looking at right now is the goal, he's facing this. He's not 100% forward, but his body's in a forward motion. If the ball's dropped off his thigh, how can it go backwards? If your thigh is facing forwards and the ball's colliding with your thigh, it can only go in a forwards direction. I can't kick a ball forward and it flies backwards. The ball's not going to bounce off my leg and go backwards. That makes no sense. Of course the ball's going in a forward motion. It's how his body was positioned. You don't have to look at the cameras to understand that. If his body's positioned forward and the ball's come off his thigh, it's traveling in a forward motion. Come on, am I the only one that thinks that that's so obvious? So clearly the VAR officials not only have messed up there in terms of not knowing the offside rule, they're messed up in the fact that they need to go back to school and understand how physics works again. Because that for me is blatant offside. Now, I need to watch it again maybe because obviously I was heated in the moment as when it happens. But I do think for me, as soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw VAR said checking for offside, I was like, perfect. They're checking for offside. They understand it's going to be offside. Perfect. Goal's going to get chalked off and we go again. But they didn't. They gave it as a goal and they lost about 5 minutes checking it. They were checking this. They were checking that. VAR was saying this was allowed. This wasn't allowed. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Even Gary Neville in commentary was like, I'm not sure, bro. And he's meant to be a football expert, giving his thoughts. So who knows nowadays? Now, it's the VAR decision that's gone against us. And I'm not digging out VAR necessarily just for this one, because make no mistake about it, those of you that have been up to date with this channel know that I've been on VAR's case for the longest time. I've dropped multiple videos on VAR already, man. From the first game of the season I watched. And when Man United played Wolves on Monday Night Football, I was digging out VAR all along. Now, am I anti-VAR? I'm actually not. Genuinely, guys, I'm not anti-VAR. I'm anti the officials. We saw Anthony Taylor get demoted to the Championship already early in the season for his bad decisions. And to be honest with you guys, I think there's at least 5 or 6 others that could have gone down with him. At least 5 or 6 others. When are you going to start importing referees from other countries? Because the English refs are not good enough. They're not good enough, man. I'm Turkish, right? I watched Turkey play Croatia in the what's called Euro qualifiers. Anthony Taylor was the referee. I thought I'd escaped the referees from the Prem when I went to watch Euros, and he was there. He was refereeing the game, and he gave Croatia a penalty. And when VAR looked at it, it was nowhere near a penalty. It was nowhere near. They overruled it. But the thing is, he booked so many Turkish players for protesting, and they were right. And he didn't even get rid of the yellow cards afterwards. So to be honest with you guys, I've got more of a beef with the referees than actual VAR. I think the referees using the technology are wrong, because VAR is technology. It's binary. It's ones and zeros. It's black and white. It's only how good you utilize it. Now, you give a man that's not got a driving license a Ferrari and he crashes it. Do you blame the Ferrari or do you blame the driver? The Ferrari's fine. The technology is fine. It's the driver that's the problem. You get me to try and analyze, I don't know, you get me to try and code something from Microsoft. Is the Microsoft computers broken, or is it the fact that I can't code? Do you get what I mean? So I'm not actually against the VAR in that respect. I'm against the officials that are implementing VAR. I think they've got to look at themselves. I think they're far off it, man. Far off it. I think the refereeing in this country is a disgrace. More often than not, we talk about the referees. When I watch Arsenal or any team in the Champions League, I rarely talk about the referees. Guys, those of you that have been here before know when I review the games after live on my channel, how many games in the Champions League that I review do I talk about the referees? Rarely. But whenever it comes to the Premier League, every game I'm talking about the refs. Every game. I think Fulham versus Man United was the only game I didn't talk about referees. Genuinely. Genuinely, I think it was the only game I did not talk about referees. Every other game, referee this, referee that, bad decision this, bad decision that, VAR in, VAR out. It's all about the referees. So yeah, I think there's a lot to contemplate with that one. And the reason it annoys me so much is because this was not Newcastle running over Arsenal and deserving the victory. I genuinely think that decision was the difference today. That decision was genuinely the reason between Arsenal getting 0 points or 1 point. If that decision goes in Arsenal's favour, we walk out here with at least a point. Because Newcastle created nothing this game. Created absolutely nothing. If anything, Arsenal created more chances. I think Arsenal probably, on the balance of play, deserved the win more than Newcastle. I'm not going to sit here and say we clear-cut deserved the victory, because I don't think that was the case. But I think we deserved the win more than Newcastle did. I think a draw would have been at least a fair result. And I'm not even criticising the team, because in my eyes, right, Arsenal did not even play that bad today. Against West Ham, I criticised the team. But today, I'm not even getting on the team's case. Yes, individual errors from Ben White not closing down Joe Willock and David Wright not clearing the cross has cost us. But VAR also has also attributed to that. I think overall our team performance was actually quite good. So I'm not by any stretch of imagination going to dig out the referee or VAR. So I'm not going to dig out the Arsenal teams as much for this one, because this is just one of those games. If we have a better VAR decision in our favour, we walk out of it with at least a point, which in hindsight is a good result at St James's Park.